Question 1. The correlation between poor inventory control and profit erosion in an HVACR service company can be best illustrated by which of the following scenarios? A. Inventory overstocking leads to enhanced customer satisfaction and better service levels. B. Frequent stockouts force technicians to delay service calls, resulting in lost revenue and reduced customer trust. C. Accurate inventory levels cause unnecessary holding costs, reducing profit margins. D. Just-in-time inventory systems are inherently more expensive and limit profitability. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Poor inventory control, especially stockouts, can delay service calls, leading to lost revenue, emergency procurement costs, and customer churn. This directly impacts profit margins. Efficient inventory management ensures availability of parts when needed, thereby reducing overhead, improving technician productivity, and enhancing customer satisfaction, according to HRConquer Standard 180.2.18 and NOR best practices. Inventory planning tied to service forecasting is critical to financial performance. Question 2. When evaluating the merits of a bonus-based incentive program for HVACR sales representatives, what is the greatest risk if not paired with robust performance metrics? A. Increased team morale and collaboration across departments. B. Reduced overhead costs due to minimized base salaries. C. Encouragement of aggressive sales tactics that may hurt long-term client relationships. D. Alignment of compensation with the company's ethical standards. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Incentives without clear metrics risk encouraging behavior that prioritizes short-term gains over sustainable growth, such as pushing unsuitable equipment or overpromising on service capabilities. This can damage the brand and violate FTC consumer protection regulations. Performance metrics must align with customer satisfaction, contract renewals, and return on investment to ensure ethical and strategic. Question 3. Given the circumstances of a nationwide refrigerant phase-out, how should HVACR companies strategically adjust their service contract offerings? A. Eliminate all older equipment from service contracts to avoid liability. B. Promote long-term fixed-price contracts without clauses for refrigerant pricing changes. C. Modify service agreements to include variable pricing and upgrade incentives for affected systems. D. Continue offering traditional service packages while absorbing refrigerant price fluctuations. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. The EPA's phase-out of high-doped refrigerants under SNAP Rule 23 and 24 requires HVACR managers to adapt their contracts. Variable pricing accounts for refrigerant cost volatility. Offering upgrade incentives not only manages risk but aligns with energy efficiency goals under LEED and Energy Star. Fixed-price contracts without adjustment clauses expose firms to margin losses. Question 4. In light of recent developments in AI-driven building automation, what is the most appropriate response from an HVACR manager aiming to stay competitive in the service industry? A. Wait for AI technology to mature before investing in employee training. B. Focus exclusively on mechanical system optimization and avoid software integration. C. Begin upskilling staff in IT systems and predictive diagnostics to enhance value-added services. D. Transition entirely away from traditional HVACR services to smart systems only. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. The rise of AI in HVACR demands workforce upskilling. HRConquer Standard 223 and ISOIC 30141 emphasize smart system interoperability and digital twin diagnostics. Training staff in these areas enables proactive maintenance, system optimization, and long-term client partnerships, enhancing competitiveness and customer satisfaction. Question 5. Morales is overseeing a multi-phase retrofit project where change orders have begun accumulating rapidly. The client complains about delays and cost overruns. What should Morales prioritize to restore client confidence and maintain project profitability? A. Offer discount concessions and extend the project timeline. B. Review and renegotiate the entire contract scope immediately. C. Improve change order tracking and establish clear communication protocols moving forward. D. Halt all work until disputes are resolved in arbitration. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Managing change orders effectively is key in project control. According to HVACR and air contract standards, change logs, scope alignment, and real-time stakeholder updates ensure transparency and trust. Poor change order handling leads to financial discrepancies, claims, and reputational damage. ISTA Morale should implement formal documentation and clarify cost-time impacts immediately. Question 6. Through the lens of preventive maintenance strategy, which of the following is most likely to increase customer retention in commercial HVACR service contracts? A. Reactive service responses and emergency repairs. B. Time and materials billing with no tracking of system performance. C. Scheduled condition-based monitoring with reporting of system health metrics. D. Fixed maintenance schedules without flexibility for tenant operations. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Condition-based maintenance (CBM) supported by its sensors improves uptime and reduces unplanned failures, building trust with clients. ASHRAE Guideline 4.2023 and ISO 55000 recommend CBM to optimize asset life. It also provides quantifiable ROI and energy savings. Key to customer retention in competitive markets. Unlike static schedules, CBM offers adaptability and data-backed service. Question 7. The development of a financial dashboard for HVACR operations should include what critical element to allow real-time decision-making and strategic forecasting? A. Color-coded expense reports from each service technician. B. Manual logs of monthly parts usage. C. Key performance indicators, KPIs like gross margin, job cost variance, and R turnover. D. A detailed breakdown of past advertising expenditures. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Effective financial dashboards incorporate KPIs aligned with business goals. Metrics like job costing variance and art turnover allow for early detection of inefficiencies. As per GOP 8, for guidance for managerial accounting, real-time visibility into cash flow, revenue, backlog, and margin trends supports faster, more informed decisions that impact profitability. Question 8. Is Bennett a new operations manager and notices frequent technician downtime between scheduled service calls despite a full backlog? What strategy should she implement first to improve productivity? A. Hire more administrative staff to handle dispatching. B. Rely solely on technician self-scheduling. C. Introduce dynamic dispatching and GPS-enabled scheduling software. D. Eliminate all buffer times in scheduling. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Field service optimization through real-time dispatch tools reduces idle time and increases calls per day. Per Service Council and FSM best practices, integration of GPS and dynamic scheduling can yield up to 25% productivity gains. Static or self-scheduling methods fail to respond to traffic delays, cancellations, or proximity-based adjustments. Question 9. Considering the evidence around employee retention in HVACR firms, what factor most directly reduces voluntary turnover among field technicians? A. Commission-based pay structure alone. B. Flexible hours with no formal performance evaluation. C. A clear career advancement path with ongoing technical training. D. Mandatory weekend shifts with overtime compensation. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. According to RM and NATE, continuous learning combined with growth opportunities increases employee engagement and loyalty. HVACR technicians value certifications, mentorship, and internal promotion tracks. Pay incentives alone are insufficient. Structured development programs tied to skills matrices and performance goals also reduce compliance risks under EOC guidelines. Question 10. During the process of preparing an HVACR company for ISO 9001 quality certification, which area is most critical to address first? A. Updating social media marketing content. B. Reviewing technician uniforms for branding consistency. C. Documenting service workflows and standard operating procedures (SOPs). D. Launching a OERM platform. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. ISO 9001 certification centers on consistent quality delivery and continual improvement. SOP documentation ensures repeatable, auditable processes. Clause 4 Context of the organization and Clause 8 Operations specifically require control procedures. Without documented workflows, the firm risks non-conformity errors and loss of customer confidence. Question 11. Under the assumption that a company is experiencing cash flow shortages despite high revenue, which financial strategy should the HVACR manager prioritize to improve liquidity without sacrificing long-term growth? A. Delay payments to suppliers as long as possible to conserve cash. B. Increase inventory levels to prepare for anticipated service demand. C. Tighten credit terms with customers and improve accounts receivable collections. D. Reduce employee training budgets to cut immediate expenses. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Improving accounts receivable collection speeds cash inflow, which directly improves liquidity without harming future operations. Delaying supplier payments can damage vendor relationships and lead to supply chain disruptions per GOP and vendor contract principles. Overstoring inventory ties up cash unnecessarily, and cutting training hurts workforce competency, which impacts long-term growth. Question 12. When considering the evidence from OSHA standards, what is the most effective way for HVACR managers to reduce the risk of job site accidents involving refrigerants? A. Rely on verbal warnings and informal training to minimize paperwork. B. Require comprehensive PPE use combined with formal hazard communication training. C. Limit refrigerant handling to senior technicians only without additional training. D. Reduce the number of refrigerant handling tasks by outsourcing all service calls. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. OSHA's Hazard Communication Standard 29 CFR 1910.1200 mandates that employees must receive formal training on chemical hazards and proper PPE use. Informal training is inadequate. PPE without training is ineffective. Outsourcing all refrigerant tasks is not always feasible and does not build internal capacity or safety culture. Question 13. Given the circumstances of rising energy costs, how should an HVACR company adjust its marketing strategy to both retain customers and attract new ones? A. Emphasize low upfront costs over energy savings. B. Promote energy-efficient systems highlighting lifecycle cost savings and rebates. C. Focus solely on promotional discounts and short-term sales. D. Avoid discussing energy efficiency to prevent complicating sales conversations. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Customers increasingly value sustainability and long-term savings, especially with rising energy prices. Marketing energy-efficient solutions aligned with Energy Star and utility rebate programs demonstrates value beyond upfront cost, fostering loyalty. This approach also complies with FTC advertising guidelines about truthful claims. Discounts alone erode margins and don't build brand equity. Question 14. In the context of supply chain disruptions, what operational tactic can most effectively maintain project timelines for HVAC retrofit projects? A. Source all materials from a single local supplier to reduce logistics complexity. B. Increase inventory buffers and diversify suppliers to mitigate risks. C. Decrease lead times by ordering materials only as needed just in time. D. Postpone projects until supply chain normalizes. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Supply chain resilience is best improved by increasing buffers and supplier diversification, which reduces dependency and risk of delay per PMI and lean supply chain principles. Relying on a single supplier or just-in-time in disruptions leads to higher vulnerability. Postponing projects damages revenue and client trust. Question 15. During the process of conducting performance evaluations for HVACR field technicians, what approach best aligns with developing a motivated and skilled workforce? A. Use only quantitative metrics such as number of service calls completed. B. Provide balanced feedback covering technical skills, safety, compliance, and customer service. C. Avoid negative feedback to maintain morale. D. Base evaluations solely on seniority and tenure. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Balanced performance evaluations incorporating quantitative and qualitative feedback promote growth and accountability. Incorporating safety, OSHA, customer satisfaction, and technical competence, NATE certifications aligns employee goals with organizational priorities. Avoiding constructive feedback or relying on seniority undermines development and fairness. Question 16. Demonstrated by recent trends in HVACR workforce management, what labor law consideration is critical when implementing flexible scheduling policies? A. Flexible schedules exempt employees from overtime pay. B. Employers must ensure compliance with Fair Labor Standards Act (FLSA) regarding hours worked and overtime. C. Flexible scheduling allows employees to work unlimited hours without reporting. D. No formal record keeping is required under flexible policies. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The FLSA requires accurate tracking of hours worked and mandates overtime pay for eligible employees exceeding 40 hours a week. Flexible scheduling does not exempt employers from these obligations. Proper timekeeping systems must be maintained per Department of Labor guidelines to avoid wage disputes and penalties. Question 17. To what extent does adopting building automation systems (BAS) impact quality control and assurance in HVACR service operations? A. BAS implementation eliminates the need for manual inspections entirely. B. BAS provides continuous data for proactive maintenance and fault detection, enhancing quality control. C. BAS complicates service delivery by requiring specialized technicians only. D. BAS is irrelevant to quality assurance and only affects energy consumption. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. BAS enables real-time monitoring and diagnostics per ASHRAE Guideline 132021, facilitating early fault detection and condition-based maintenance, improving system reliability and client satisfaction. While BAS requires trained personnel, it supplements, not replaces, manual inspections. Its impact on quality control is significant beyond energy savings alone. Question 18. Considering the evidence on project profitability analysis, what is the primary factor causing a project to show negative margins despite billing on Schedule A? Underestimating labor and material costs in the initial estimate. B. Excessive marketing expenses unrelated to the project. C. High overhead allocation regardless of project specifics. D. Delays in invoicing the customer. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Underestimated initial job costing leads to actual expenses exceeding budget, causing margin erosion. Overhead and marketing affect overall company finances, but not project-specific profitability directly. Billing delays impact cash flow, but don't affect gross margins if billed eventually. Accurate estimating per OS international standards is critical. Question 19. When faced with a multi-generational workforce, which communication strategy is most effective in promoting team cohesion within an HVACR company? A. Use only email communication to ensure formal records. B. Tailor communication styles to different generational preferences, combining digital and face-to-face methods. C. Rely exclusively on traditional memos and paper documentation. D. Avoid informal communication to maintain professionalism. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Different generations prefer different communication methods. Millennials and Gen Z favor digital platforms. Older generations prefer face-to-face or phone. Effective managers blend methods per Gallup at HRM research to engage all employees, reduce misunderstandings, and build inclusive cultures. Over-reliance on any single channel alienates some staff. Question 20. For the purpose of maintaining regulatory compliance in refrigerant handling, which of the following best describes a manager's responsibility under EPA Section 608? A. Ensure only certified technicians perform refrigerant recovery, recycling, and disposal. B. Allow any employee to handle refrigerants as long as safety gear is used. C. Report refrigerant purchases annually but do not track leak repairs. D. Dispose of refrigerant waste by venting to the atmosphere to avoid storage costs. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Under EPA Section 608, refrigerant handling must be performed by technicians certified in the proper recovery and recycling procedures to prevent ozone depletion and comply with Clean Air Act amendments. Venting refrigerants is illegal and carries heavy fines. Managers must maintain training, certifications, and accurate records to remain compliant. Question 21. When analyzing the merits of various pricing strategies for large commercial HVACR projects, what is the most significant advantage of a value-based pricing model over a cost-plus approach? A. It simplifies quoting by basing price solely on labor and material costs. B. It aligns the price with the perceived value and benefits to the customer, potentially increasing profit margins. C. It reduces the risk of underestimating project costs by adding a fixed markup. D. It ensures a fixed profit margin regardless of project complexity. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Value-based pricing focuses on the customer's perception of the value delivered, such as energy savings or improved reliability, enabling premium pricing and better profit margins. Cost-plus pricing, while simpler, often ignores market dynamics and customer willingness to pay. This approach is supported by marketing principles and aligns with strategic pricing best practices in HVACR management. Question 22. Considering the evidence from OSHA regulations, what is the most effective step an HVACR manager can take to minimize workplace injury risks during installation projects? A. Conduct annual safety training only. B. Implement a comprehensive, ongoing job hazard analysis (HA) with worker involvement. C. Rely on personal protective equipment as the sole safety measure. D. Limit safety policies to supervisors only. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. OSHA requires ongoing hazard identification and mitigation. Job hazard analysis (HA) identifies specific risks per task and involves employees increasing awareness and compliance. PPE is important but not sufficient alone. Annual training without ongoing hazard assessment is ineffective. Engaging all workers promotes a safety culture aligned with OSHA 1910 standards. Question 23. In the context of HVACR service contracts, which of the following best addresses the risk of scope creep during the contract period? A. Use vague contract language to allow flexibility. B. Establish clear scope definitions with change order processes and client sign-off requirements. C. Avoid documenting service details to reduce administrative burden. D. Include a blanket fee to cover any unexpected work. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Clear scope and formal change order processes prevent misunderstandings and unauthorized work that leads to scope creep. According to industry best practices and contract law principles, client sign-off is essential for scope adjustments, ensuring transparency and protecting profitability. Vague contracts and blanket fees increase disputes and risk. Question 24. During the process of forecasting HVACR project budgets, which of the following factors most critically impacts accuracy? A. Ignoring labor productivity variations in different job sites. B. Using historical data combined with current market material and labor rates. C. Applying a standard markup percentage to all projects without adjustments. D. Excluding indirect costs such as supervision and equipment rental. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Accurate forecasting requires integrating historical performance data and up-to-date market conditions for labor and materials. Ignoring variability or indirect costs can lead to underestimates. The Construction Management Association of America, CMA, and PMI emphasize dynamic, data-driven budgeting to control costs and mitigate risk. Question 25. Mr. Chen is tasked with improving employee engagement within his HVACR company. Based on current HR research, which initiative is most likely to yield positive results? A. Increasing base wages across the board without other changes. B. Implementing a structured recognition program paired with professional development opportunities. C. Enforcing stricter attendance policies to reduce absences. D. Requiring overtime to maximize productivity. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Employee engagement improves significantly through recognition and development opportunities, which fulfill psychological needs for achievement and growth. ARM and Gallup research confirm this approach leads to higher retention and productivity. While wages matter, they are less effective alone. Strict policies and excessive overtime can increase dissatisfaction. Question 26. From a practical standpoint, how does implementing lean principles affect HVACR service operations? A. It increases inventory levels to avoid stockouts. B. It streamlines workflows by eliminating waste and optimizing resource use. C. It lengthens service cycles due to added documentation requirements. D. It reduces employee autonomy by imposing rigid procedures. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Lean methodology focuses on maximizing value by eliminating non-value-added activities, waste, improving efficiency and responsiveness. In HVACR service operations, this results in faster service cycles, reduced costs, and better customer satisfaction. While documentation is necessary, Lean seeks to simplify, not complicate. Employee empowerment is often enhanced. Question 27. Which of the following best explains the role of the HVACR manager in ensuring compliance with refrigerant leak detection and repair regulations under EPA Section 608? They only oversee purchasing and do not involve in service technician training. B. Establish and enforce protocols for leak detection, repair timelines, and record keeping. C. Allow technicians to decide on leak repairs without formal guidelines. D. Disregard small leaks as long as refrigerant consumption is low. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. EPA Section 608 mandates leak detection, timely repairs, and accurate records to minimize environmental impact. Managers must develop and enforce clear procedures, provide training, and audit compliance. Allowing discretion or ignoring leaks risks violations and fines. Responsible management ensures adherence to Clean Air Act requirements. Question 20. In light of recent developments, what is the most effective way for an HVACR company to leverage data analytics to improve project management outcomes? A. Collect data but avoid sharing it with frontline employees. B. Use real-time project dashboards to track costs, schedules, and resource allocation. C. Rely on manual data entry after project completion. D. Focus data collection only on customer satisfaction surveys. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Real-time dashboards enable proactive issue identification and course correction during projects, enhancing profitability and client satisfaction. Sharing insights with all relevant teams improves transparency and decision-making. Manual or post-project data limits timely interventions. Data analytics should cover multiple project dimensions per PMI standards. Question 29. Taking into account labor law compliance, what is a critical consideration when terminating an employee for poor performance in an HVACR company? A. No documentation is necessary if termination is immediate. B. Provide consistent performance feedback and document corrective actions before termination. C. Terminate employees based solely on supervisor's verbal complaint. D. Avoid conducting exit interviews to save time. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Documented performance evaluations and corrective actions provide legal protection against wrongful termination claims under the Fair Labor Standards Act (FLSA) and state labor laws. Clear communication and due process align with HR best practices. Immediate termination without documentation increases litigation risk. Exit interviews provide valuable feedback and closure. Question 30. Considering the relationship between quality control and customer satisfaction in HVACR, which of the following best supports sustainable business growth? A. Focusing only on technical compliance and ignoring client feedback. B. Implementing continuous improvement programs that incorporate customer feedback and performance metrics. C. Reducing quality control efforts to lower operational costs. D. Prioritizing speed of service over thoroughness. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Continuous improvement based on data and client input builds trust, reduces defects, and improves loyalty, driving sustainable growth. ISO 9001 quality management emphasizes this feedback loop. Ignoring customer insights or cutting quality control risks defects and lost business. Speed without quality can harm reputation long term.